Good evening, race fans, and we're here with the pre-race show. It's a little early pre-race show, but we're here, and we're getting you set for week number 9 of Millertime Motorsports 305 Outlaws series. I'm your host, Ryan Griffith. I got Byron Gay and Chris Miller with me. How are you guys doing today?
It's Millertime Sunday. It's early. It's definitely weird being early, but, it's another great day for racing.
Yeah, I agree. I had to mess with the lighting back here a little bit. I think I'm just all out of whack a little bit. I don't have a beer open yet. I don't know. It's just different, but I think I'm going to like it tonight just because, it's a very nice afternoon out here at least. So I'm going to get done here at 2:45, 3 o'clock, and I'm going to head outside for a little while. So I'm going to have some fun with that.
Absolutely. It's like a beautiful weekend. We haven't had that for a while here in Ohio, so it's really, really super nice. But we have some really, really great weather for us tonight here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The dirt track at Charlotte's where we're at in week number 9. But before we talk about week number 9, let's go back and let's rehash out week number 8, as that was, 2 weeks ago, because we was off for the Easter holiday. So hopefully everyone had a great Easter holiday. But we were at I-55 in week number 8, and we seen a familiar face in victory lane in the way of Tyler Street. He gets it done again for his second win in the 305 Outlaw Series in his first season with Millertime Motorsports. He's your winner there, and he came from the 10th position and was able to get it done. After the race was over, I was disappointed that I did not pick him, as I felt like I should have, as that track really played out just like Lanier did, and he won there. Were you guys shocked to see him win, and why did we not pick him?
It was definitely shocking to see him come from 10th to win it in a track that we didn't really think we were going to see a whole lot of passing. I think all of us realized once he did get up there in that first spot, we're like, this is just like Lanier. Why didn't we take him? It's a little bit more banking. The bottom there's a little bit more there to use later in the race than there is at Lanier. But I think he just did what he could there and just to get it done. I think we just misjudged him for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, but, it really come down to, it was the unknown. It was I-55 for the first time. Tyler Street's obviously new to the league this season. Yeah, it did play out like Lanier. I was surprised we only had 3 cautions. From what we had talked about, we had seen in the officials, it was just a wreck fest all the time. So very clean racing out there. And from him, I was watching him come through the field, as the night was going on, and you could just tell he was the fastest one out there, and he was coming. And then when he finally did, I think we had a late caution there, bunched them all back up, and then he got around and he just took off. And it was his at that point. So congrats to him. That's 2 out of the last 3. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and you say, we only seen 3 cautions, and it was shocking because we seen some of the officials, and the officials wasn't the cleanest racing. But I guess that's just a testament of this league and how well these drivers are and how comfortable they are racing around each other and put on a great show for all the race fans out there watching. So yeah, only 3 cautions, and we did see 3 lead changes. So those people that led laps in that, Ben Wart led 3 laps early on in that. Jason Randolph led 15 laps, and then the final 9 laps goes to Tyler Street, and he leads the remainder. And then you look at the top qualifier of that night for your Jake's Electric's top qualifier. That was Troy Flaro at 11.144. That is a new track record for Millertime because it is the first time we've ever been to I-55. Looking at some of the heat race winners from there. Heat race number 1, you've seen Ben Wart get in victory lane. Heat number 2, you've seen Larry Bell get in victory lane, and that actually qualified him into his first Dash for Cash event. And then heat race number 3, you got Jason Randolph that won that one. Heat race number 4, Sean Stevens found victory lane in heat race number 4. Your B main, Ross Kaiser, had to come from the B main. We've seen that several times this season. Came from the B main, and he wins the B main to get into the A main. And then your GNR Drywall Dash for Cash winner, Sean Stevens, picking up an extra $5 on the season. So interesting stuff that happened at I-55. and the points was a little bit of a change after coming out of I-55. So we look at the point standings. There is one change there with Jason Randolph taking over the top spot from Randy Shreves at 1,435 points. Just 10 points back is Randy Shreves. Really, really, really close. And I predict that this number will get even closer after tonight's race, and we may come into, how crazy would it be? We come into the final race of the season and we have a tie at the top of the leaderboard. It's happened last season. It could very well happen this season. So there's your point standings. Top two there, really, really close. And then you got Zach Dykstra there in the third position, 39 points out. You get Tyler Street, 50 points out. Sean Stevens, 52 points out. That's your top five. And then from 6th through 10th, you got Brandon Voiles, Ben Ward, Jeff Flaro, PJ Popham, and Brandon Surratt. Rounds out the top 10. I'm getting a little creeped out over there because I think Chris Miller, his thing has frozen on my end, and it just looks like he is giving me the death stare. Are you seeing the same thing, Byron?
Oh, it just disappeared.
Yeah. So it was a little scary there. I thought he was staring me down like, what are you talking about? But okay.
I think that's the best look Chris has ever given all season.
Yeah, it was just like the stare. Like,
if somebody could get a picture of that,
yeah,
and just send it to me. I would love to have that.
All right, so moving on, we'll talk about some team standings, because the team standings, there's money on the line there, and that is Redline Race Designs team standings. And after week number 8, you have Hoda Racing at 1,367 points. You got LGR right there at 1,353. I mean, this is going to be a really close team battle, with especially seeing the likes of Tyler Street and how well he's been coming on lately over the last couple weeks. In that third position, Northeast Outlaw Motorsports, the team formed this season, and here they are. They're sitting in the third position. Millertime Motorsports at 1282, 3D Racing at 1222, and the Momentum Sim Sports still not able to score any points with Clayton Tilley absent at 904. Look at these team standings, Byron. This is really going to come down to it. Hoda Racing and LGR, I think that's going to be the race to see over the next two races.
Yeah, and it's going to be big with tonight with Zach Dykstra not going to be here. I did get some intel on that. So Zach will not be here, which means Brandon Surratt and Brandon Voiles are going to have to step it up, because Zach has been getting these good finishes. So won't be using Zach's points tonight for that. But I think LGR might get the edge here tonight. I think they got some good drivers here that have been at Charlotte before that have, performed very well.
Is Chris back?
Well, I'm having technical difficulties. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
So my problem is I lost internet here. I'm resetting it. I'm on my phone at the moment. So I can hear you guys. We can roll with it.
Okay.
I'll join when I can.
Okay.
Just turn the phone on your camera, the camera on your phone on. We'll be fine.
Okay, so we talk. There he is. That works just fine. So we was talking about Hoda Racing and LGR, very, very close in points there. We imagine that's going to come down to the next two races to decide who's going to win that. And then Byron throws us with a curveball saying that Zach Dykstra is not going to be with us tonight. And he is running in, third in points here?
Yeah.
So interesting news coming from Hoda Racing out there. But looking at these point standings, Chris, what do you think there with LGR just a few points behind, and with the momentum that Tyler Street has had, what's your odds? What's your chances that LGR could top off Hoda Racing here in the next two races?
Oh, I think it's really good. I also think that tonight, I didn't know that about Zach. So, when I get to my picks, I've got to change it. I'll just throw it out there. Okay. But anyhow, besides that, I mean, that's huge, because now that takes them down tonight to just Surratt and Voiles, where if they have, if one guy gets wrecked out or doesn't make the A main for some reason, it doesn't look like we're going
to.
And yeah, definitely he just dropped out for whatever reason. And when he drops out like that, it screws up our box panels here, so now we don't have somebody. So we need somebody to come in Discord and just be a face.
Pull Troy in here.
Just be a face. There he is. He's back. He probably hit the hang up button accidentally. Who knows?
Oh, he's back on his
Oh,
computer. Internet's back on.
that's
no,
what it
so
is.
when the internet came back on, it kicked me off my phone. That's what happened.
That's hilarious.
All right, so maybe we're all set back up here, guys. We'll try this.
Yeah, you're talking about
that.
Voiles and Surratt there.
It must be the 2 p.m. start, but yes. So Voiles and Surratt in the race. If one of them happen not to make or don't have a good run, everybody's probably going to make the feature. So I probably can't say that. But as far as one of them wreck out early on and take last place there, it's going to really hurt them in the points. And I didn't see the points that you were showing up there, Ryan, so I don't know how many points were different in between them. I actually have it in my notes.
Yep,
but
I just pulled it up there so you'll be able to see it there. Jason Randolph has a 10-point lead over Randy Shreves, and then Zach Dykstra's 39 points out. I mean, he was still in striking distance, but with a no-show tonight, he's done for.
because that's going to probably more than likely, I don't know how bad that'll hurt him, but will it even take him outside the top 10? It probably will. And then he's going to be struggling. It'll definitely take him outside the top 10. So then he's giving up a lot of cash tonight.
Yeah, because every position matters as far as payouts. So whatever he's missing must be for a very, very good cause. Byron, do you know? You got any insight on why he's missing tonight?
I do know, but I don't want to embarrass him that much. I just know he does have a fever. We'll leave it that way. It might be a beaver fever or something.
Unbelievable. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Let's get past Beaver Fever, and let's go on to this week, where we think the race is going to gravitate to. I've got some things that I want to run through here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte, because we did not race here last season, but we did race here in Season 4. And if we remember, the last person that won Season 4 championship was Jason Randolph. So he has seen this track whenever he was racing here in Season 4. So looking at the last trip that we were here, your winner coming out of that race was Carlin Cure. He got the win. And then Jason Randolph finished second behind Carlin Cure. And it was a last lap pass. Actually, it was 2 to go, and Carlin Cure passes for the lead. PJ Popham finishes in that third position. He went from the 19th starting position to climb all the way up and get a podium finish. So PJ Popham, maybe a guy to watch tonight. Clayton Davies finished fourth. Randy Shreves finished in the 5th spot. Some qualifying notes, because why I want to talk about some qualifying, especially here at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. We've already seen this season, qualifying is very, very, very important, and you want to be inside the top 10 to get those extra bonus points. And so when we look at qualifying, how did some of these guys that's in the league right now qualify in Season 4? Well, let's take a look. Sean Stevens qualified number 1. He needs it tonight to get those extra bonus points. I mean, he's still there. He's in the hunt, but he needs a big night tonight. Potentially a top qualifier and a win would do just what he needs. Greg Barnett, he was with us in Season 4. He qualified second. Chris Sine qualified third. Troy Flaro qualified fourth. And Byron Gay, you qualified fifth. Jeff Flaro qualified ninth. Jason Randolph qualified 17th. And Randy Shreves qualified 18th. And at that point, we still did a pill draw. So some of these guys had a very, very bad pill draw. And if you get a bad pill draw here, it may cost you some points because you're not going to qualify as good potentially. So we've seen it before where a guy came out late and was able to do some good things. But when we look at Season 4, we've seen Jason Randolph and both Randy Shreves struggle going out late. They may struggle again tonight as Jason Randolph has a very, very nasty pill draw I seen earlier. So we shall see how that's going to play out. Talking about some heat racing, because heat racing matters so much here at Charlotte to set you up for your A main. Did you guys know this? I've got a little stat here. It may be like a curse or something. I don't know. But in heat racing, if you are starting second in your heat race, you're going to win. At least that's what the stats tell me. As last season, Season 4, or 2 seasons ago, Season 4, whoever started second won the race in all 4 heat races. So starting on the outside of that front row may be what you want. here in your heat races. So Jason Randolph, he done it. He got his win starting in second. Randy Shreve started second. He got his win. Brian Johnson started second. He got his win. And Larry Bell started second, and he got his win, all in the heat races. So guys, what are some of the things that you're looking at here at the dirt track at Charlotte coming into tonight with such a close points race to stake?
Yeah, you mentioned the guy from second winning it. I think at the time we were still doing like an invert of 6. So that's why you see these guys like, Jason Randolph and them that qualified 17th, 18th up there on that second spot.
Yeah.
And obviously now we do a 3-car invert with 4 heats. So I don't want to say, sandbagging qualifying just to get that good starting position for the future. Because, obviously we know qualifying's big. As far as the heat races go and all that with qualifying, the track gets faster as it wears here on this new tire model. It's just going to be about who can find that fast line in qualifying, and then they can transfer it to the heat race to stay up front. Once we get past that, it's really, we didn't get a lot of data last night from the All-Stars. We had 4 cars. It was unfortunate. And I blame that to racing real life, everybody out there going to the tracks. But lines develop so differently throughout the night. I think it's going to slowly work up the track. We'll see some reverse sliders. We'll see some sliders. We get to the top, back down. It's unpredictable at this point. I think we're just going to follow that natural curve of going up the track and then back down.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Byron. And we didn't get to see anything from last night, so it's hard to tell. But I really don't think the pill draw is going to have a huge factor on the race tonight. I think these guys that are towards the back, right now we've only got 15 guys registered. Let's just say we get another 4 or 5 guys, we're only going to have 19, 20 guys. I think these guys with the later pill draws, they're going to be able to find a way. They're going to get to see who was quick around the track and what line they ran, and I think they'll find the quick line themselves. So I'm not worried about the guys at the back. I think they're going to be able to make it up. Now, once it goes racing, I think it's going to be a little bit tougher to pass. So we'll see there. But again, hard to tell. We're at 2:00 and we don't even know where everybody's sitting on these pill draws and where we're registered. Look, I didn't even know that news about Dykstra. I have to change my picks. I'm sitting here trying to study while you guys are talking a second ago.
That's okay. You study all you want, and as you study, send me that pick and I can program it right in there before we get over to the picks. So moving on from this, we've got the Kings of Millertime. We've got to talk about it. It is fastly approaching. And before we do, let's get over. If you have not seen the hype video, the trailer for it, now's your chance. King Brandon Boyles the First. King Troy Flero the Second. These two wear the royal crown in racing, the Kings of Millertime. For the first time, the gates of the castle has been opened up to enemy forces to enter in and try to steal the crown away. Will the Outlaw Kings defend what is rightfully theirs, or will a new power arise and rule the 305s of iRacing? From the kings of the past and the kings to come, those names are never forgotten and will always be a king of Millertime.
What a stressful feeling to be at the front of a stacked field with some of the best drivers in iRacing. Knowing that one mistake is all that it takes to ruin anyone's night adds a lot of pressure, but getting it done is something that will keep me going for many seasons.
To win a prestigious event, it takes a true warrior that can overcome his emotions and show laser focus to avoid the flying swords around the track. Troy Flero did just that, putting his name in the treasure chest of the greatest kings. Sean Stevens going to protect the bottom, but it's going to be enough. Here comes Troy Flero working the bottom side of the racetrack. Side by side, racing for the lead. A new leader at the front of the pack is Troy Flero. Flero isn't the only king that knew how to get it done in the spotlight. King Brandon Boyles shocked the world, winning his first ever race at the biggest stage.
A lot of good competition out here, man. It's a fun race. Never really done anything like this before. Big money race. It's good to get the win. Can't wait for the next one.
Deep in the heart of the castle, over $1,400 awaits to be claimed by the deserving 21 warriors that make the final battle. Who will write their name in the book of heroic kings of Millertime? Chapter 3, dawn of a new king. And there you have it. The Kings of Millertime is fastly approaching us. And if you haven't already, make sure that you get over and get the official merchandise of the Kings of Millertime. The third king awaits. You can find that over on dirtitv.com and click the shop button. Shop today, $29.99. We greatly appreciate any support we can get on that. And so we've got a little update there on the prize pool, as it has raised up from $1,200 to $1,400 now. So you see that, and that's based off a 40-car field. Entry fee for the Outlaws were $20, and the public is $30. A minimum requirement of $2,500. And I have not heard any kind of updates on this, Chris. So where do we stand as far as driver entries?
All right, yeah, so there hasn't been a ton of activity going on. I'm sure people were busy with the Easter holiday and everything, but we do have now 6 outlaw drivers registered and 1 all-star driver. So we are looking at 7 drivers right now, so we're a long way off of 40. Remember, this week is your last week that you can enter for $20. So the outlaw drivers that are out there, next week on Sunday, during the pre-race show, it's going to be $30 for everybody. So this is basically your last reminder in a pre-race show. But this week, by the end of the week, 4:30 is the last day. April 30th is the last day to get in for $20.
Man, you definitely want to get in for $20 as an outlaw driver, because I do believe that if you just make the A main, you get $20 back. So, I mean, why not spend $20 for a chance to win a lot of money? At the very minimum, you're going to break even if you make the show. And these outlaw drivers are incredible in these 305s, so there's no reason why I wouldn't think some of these all-star or the outlaw drivers make it into to A main. So we do have some tracks that we do need to eliminate here, as that is the process of finding out what track we're going to, and that could be a lot of the reasons why we have not got some of the outlaw drivers. I'm not sure what the track's going to be. I'm not sure, but let's get the spin wheel up and let's eliminate some tracks. Why don't we?
Let's eliminate some Eldora and Charlotte.
All right. We do have 3 Eldora, 3 Charlotte, 1 Knoxville, 1 Lanier, 1 I-55, and 1 Weed Sport. This is your track elimination round. Number 3, we will eliminate 3 tracks. We have 10. We're going to take 3 of them away. First spin on the wheel. We will remove Charlotte. That is Steve Spick. It is off the board. We are now down to 2 Charlottes. We're hoping for a couple more of those, or Eldora. Let's see him go off the map here. All right. Number 2. Eldora by Byron, or a new track. That is off the board. Final spin.
Possibility of a Port Royal or an I-55.
There we go.
Or even Lucas Oil, if we would have got it.
I still have my new track.
Charlotte from Larry is off the board.
Right, so we did lose to Charlotte Eldoras. Yep.
Yep.
Right.
So we still have 2 Eldoras left and 1 Charlotte, and you still have 1 Knoxville, 1 Lanier, 1 I-55, and 1 Weed Sport. That's cool. I really liked seeing that. That was cool. It was kind of heavily favored that one of those was going to be eliminated, as 6 of those tracks were up there. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff there. Now we are down to 7 tracks. Next week, when we go to the championship night, we will eliminate 3 more tracks, and then we'll have a Saturday show prior to the race of the Kings of Millertime, and that is where we will decide where we are going to be holding this race. So that's some fun stuff. I'm excited for the Kings of Millertime. The third king awaits. We've got King Brandon Voyle the first and King Troy O'Flaro the second. Interesting. Who is going to be King the third? And when we get there, just a little heads up, Byron and Chris, I'm going to be asking, who are we picking to be the king of this thing? So keep an eye out on some of these drivers as they continue to sign up for that Kings of Millertime race. It's a big race. The most money that has been in the Kings of Millertime, if we can get to the 40 car field, which I don't see why we couldn't, with $1,400 cash pool right there. All right. Anything else on the Kings of Millertime before I move it over into the picks?
I am curious. Does anybody have 2 tracks remaining?
Let me pull it back up here.
I do.
So the ones that were eliminated in week 1 and week 2, Berkey, Steve, and Sign, and week 2, Berkey, Sign, and myself. So I've still got some. So yeah, I think everybody in the admin has some. Larry just lost his first track.
No, Troy has 2 left. I have 2 left. Ryan has 1. Larry has 1. Byron has 1. Josh and Steve are out.
Okay.
Chris Stein's out.
Picks.
Yeah, Berkey just lost it. Okay, yep. All right. Cool. I know if I have my chance at having the track picked, have fun with my track conditions and how I set that thing up. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm not going to give any spoilers out there.
At least that's one of the Eldoras left. So, you know, I want all of them eliminated at this point after we went there. So, hey, I like your conditions, whatever they are.
All right. All right, so let's move on over. Oh, let's talk about one more thing before I move over into the picks, and that's the power rankings. Let's look real quickly at those power rankings and where people stand after week number 8. It's been a while since we've looked at this. Jason Randolph on top. Zach Dykstra in the 2 spot. Tyler Street moves up into the number 3 spot. That's highest he's been. Troy Flair in the 4 spot. Jeff Flair in the 5. 6 is Randy Shreve. 7th is Brandon Surratt. He continues to move up, so he's one to keep an eye on. Sean Stevens moves down to the 8th spot. 9th is Brandon Voiles, and 10th is Larry Bell. Larry Bell cracking the top 10 in the power rankings. I know I've seen some comments from him. He was very excited to see himself inside the top 10. So congratulations to Larry Bell in making it inside the top 10 in power rankings. All right. And before we move on to the picks, one last thing, and you can't really forget about this. The Get Up side, the save up to 25 cents off per gallon, an extra 15 cents off per gallon when you use this referral code, Ryan25753. I use it every day whenever I need gas, whenever I'm traveling back and forth to work. Man, it saves a lot. Since the beginning of this, whenever I really started promoting this for Dirt Eye TV and them being a kind of a side sponsor of us, I have got $40 cash back. How cool is that since we've started? So you can do the same thing. Get Upside. Save that extra 15 cents on top of the 25 cents. Ryan25753. All right, it's time to get into tonight's picks. It's Who You All Picking by the great old Luke's Bar and Grill. We're at the dirt track at Charlotte tonight, and it's interesting to find out what these guys' picks are, as we already heard that Chris Miller had Dykstra in there in one of his spots, and he had to change it. Now, I've got that change, and I've made the update. But looking at the standings, Byron Gay is doing very well this season. He's got 16 points. He's going to try to hold on to it for the next 2 races. But man, Chris is right there. Only 3 points back. One position matters a lot. If he gets the win right and Byron does it, that could be all the difference in tying this thing up tonight. As he's only 6 points back, I'm climbing my way back in. I'm in that 8th spot. Or I'm sorry, I got 8 points in that 3rd spot. So let's get it started with Chris, your number 3 pick tonight here at the dirt track at Charlotte.
Right. Well, you know, last season he went 19th to 3rd. You already mentioned that earlier today, right before I got disconnected. He's got the 20th pill drawn. I already told you that's not going to matter. So, and I think he's one of the best drivers we have on big tracks. So I'm going with PJ Popham.
PJ Popham, really good. Interesting. I was looking at the stats, and whenever I pulled that up and it said that PJ Popham finished third, I was kind of shocked to see him come back from that deep in the field and finish in third. He may be someone to watch tonight, and maybe somebody to watch not just for third, but he could potentially win this thing. Byron, you got his number 3.
So I'm having a little bit of fun here at the end of the season because, you know, I basically got this championship wrapped up. I let somebody else pick for me this week.
Okay.
And it's probably a mistake, but I let Troy make my picks. So he said, you know, if it were up to me, I would take this guy here because, you know, he's been performing well. That's Tyler Street. He's coming off a win 2 weeks ago at I-55, so a little bit of momentum ride. We had that week break, and, you know, he's been performing very well recently, able to hold his own, came 10th to 1st. I think he can do a very good job here tonight.
I'm going to ask you a question, though, Byron, and I want to know for myself is, you got Tyler Street there in the 3rd position. Have you been following Tyler Street racing lately this weekend?
I watched him when he was up at Attica that Friday night.
He's been struggling.
Yeah.
He's due.
But he's due. He may not have been getting it done in the real car, maybe struggling a little bit. It's just headspace. He's reset now. It's a Sunday night. Why not come out here and put one on for the fans?
All right. Good pick. I like it. All right. My number 3 pick today. Who do I got?
We're out there talking before the show saying, you know, we have some similar picks. I really think you probably have Tyler Street here. I think you've been following him as well, and I believe you think he's due as well.
Chris.
I'm going to say you got Randy Shreves here.
Okay, here we go. My number 3 pick today here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Absolutely right. Randy Shreves. I think he is going to do very well here. Chris seems to be able to pick these picks. It's crazy. It's like, it's an awkward silence too. It's like he's thinking, he's in my brain, and then bam, Randy Shreves. There it is. And there it is, Randy Shreves. You're right. And I think he'll do very well here. He finished 5th here in season 4. He was very, very quick. I think he will do well. I'm putting him in the 3rd spot. I wanted to put him higher. I really did. I just don't know if he was going to be the fastest guy out here on the track tonight. So I'm putting him in at number 3. Chris, number 2.
Number 2. Well, I'm going to tell you what. I mean, maybe this guy's missed, MIA just like Zach Dykstra. I have no idea. He's not registered yet today, so I might be totally wrong on this one. He's been in the Hodel garage lately a lot, so I don't know. Maybe him and Zach have something today. I mean, I know you said, yeah, maybe it's that. So, no signs of Tilly. We still haven't seen him. So is Kaiser jumping ship? Man, I don't know. If you told me Kaiser was joining Hodel, then we go back to the team standings. Then who knows? But 1 for 1 last season in the officials at Charlotte. I'm taking Ross Kaiser.
It's a good pick. Good pick if he shows up. Yes, who knows what's going on there. But when he's on the track, he's fast. Just can he keep it clean is the question.
Well, he can never put 2 weeks together, so he won and then he wrecked out, ran like 4 laps last week and he's done. So maybe this week maybe he just quit on us altogether. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think we've really seen him put 2 good weeks together to begin with. Or
right.
So he wrecked had about 4 bad weeks in a row and then had a good week and then.
So he's gonna have 4 more bad weeks.
Yeah.
All right, Byron, what do you have as your number 2 pick?
Again, it's not my picks; it's Troy's picks, and I don't know why Troy did this. You would think he was cheating with his own pill draw, but I mean, he says if he ever takes anywhere outside of row 3, column 3, he's cheating. He gets the number 1 pill draw. He gives himself a 2nd place pick for my pick'ems. I don't know. I've seen him run. He's got some good ideas about this track tonight, and I think, the guy he put in front of him, I think he could beat him realistically. So I don't know why he put him second for myself.
Okay. Troy Flair, good pick. He probably didn't put himself number one, Byron, because let me think. It's a points race. That's it.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. If money was on the line, we may be talking something different, but it's a points race, and he has never won a points race in the 305. Shocking to me that he's never been able to do that still yet, and he's been in the season for a long, long time. All right.
He just messaged me.
Number 2. Who do I have, guys?
Well, if it's Troy, I just want you to know he said you're dead to him. So I hope it's Troy.
Prove it.
I really hope it's Troy.
He needs to prove it.
I'm going to take Troy here.
Okay.
I'm taking the guy you said the last time. I'm going to take Tyler Street here because I think Ryan agrees. He's due, and Tyler's been running really well here in the league, so he's taking Tyler Street.
Chris, get out of my head. Troy Flair was not it. It is Tyler Street, number
Which
2.
means I do know your number 1 pick now.
Wow, it's gonna blow my mind if Chris gets this exactly right. I mean, number 3, that's a hard pick to choose, and then he throws it Tyler Street here, number 2. Why can't you do this when it comes down to your picks and picking the right driver to actually win? You'd be in the points lead here.
That's why Byron's got a 6-point lead, because I'm thinking a lot like you, I guess.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right.
Sometimes it just takes pulling out the darts and throwing them at a random picture.
Yep. Well, sometimes it does. Yes, I am putting Tyler Street here, number 2. I'm writing off Tyler Street as he's been hot. If you ask anybody in the garage who's the hottest driver right now in this series, it has to be that guy right there, Tyler Street. He's on fire. He's got 2 wins. He's the guy that has the most wins in the 305s other than Clayton Tilley. So since Clayton Tilley's been gone, this guy has been the guy that's been kind of ruling the 305 Outlaw series right now. So I'm putting him number 2. All right, Chris. What do you have? Number 1.
All right, so my number 1 was, and I didn't go back and reshuffle, it was Dykstra. And the reason I had to pick Dykstra here, and it's probably going to force me to pick him next week, is because if he doesn't get a win before the end of the regular season this season, he's winning the Kings of Millertime. I'm telling you right now, because we've had Foyles won the Kings of Millertime, still has never won a points race. Troy Flair wins Kings of Millertime, still has never won a points race. So guess what? Zach Dykstra's next, but I picked him this week so that maybe my Kings of Millertime pick wasn't so obvious. But nonetheless, I had to change it. I told you earlier, it doesn't matter about pill draw, and I wanted to talk about it when I got disconnected about results from last week and stuff, or 2 weeks ago at I-55. But Jason Randolph is who I'm taking, and he has taken over your points lead. And I'm telling you what, he won season 4 where he started off great. I think he started the first 8 races of the season where he didn't have finish outside the top 5. This season, he's coming on late. He's been consistent. He's still got that best average finish of 5th in the league, other than Tilley, but he hasn't competed the whole time. So I'm telling you what, he's not going to look back this season. He's going to end up winning this points championship here in season 6 after sitting out a season, retired when he had him and his wife had their newborn.
So I got to ask you, you're saying that he's going to win. He's already got the points lead right now. He's up 10 points on Randy Shreves. You believe he's going to extend that points lead tonight?
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Byron Gay, number 1 pick for you.
He's spitting facts, honestly. Chris Miller might be one of the smartest guys I know when it comes to picking the obvious pick. I do have Jason here because Troy picked him, obviously. Jason, probably would have won 2 seasons ago when we ran that 50-lapper if, Carlin didn't get him with 2 laps to go at the line and then just absolutely ran away with it. Jason can run the bottom here when it comes in, but I think, a little less time here. If you look back at it, 30 laps into that feature, Randolph was in the lead. And, 30 laps here, I think Randolph can do it again. He does have that late pill draw, but I think it's a really solid pick.
Okay. All right. You guys went same pick there. So, Chris, you cannot gain very much on Byron here. If anything, you may lose some points from Byron because who knows if Ross Kaiser is actually going to show up. And if Jason Randolph wins, that's a wash there. So PJ Pop's your only real hope in tonight's race, maybe. That's scary. All right. Who do I have? That was my number one pick tonight. Byron. Actually, Chris, I'm going to let you go first. Chris, what do you think? I can't hear a word you're saying.
What?
I've got to ask you a question first.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Did you know Byron's pick before you picked?
Yes.
Oh, see, now, I was really going Randolph here. But if you knew Byron's pick before you picked, and knowing that you got to come back in points, I don't think you're going with Randolph. Wow, that kind of threw me for a loop.
Come on, Chris, you can do it. Get in my head. You know what I picked. Let's go. You got this.
Honestly, it's probably either Randolph or Flaro, but I'm going to go out on a limb. And I'm saying it's a big limb. And is it a long shot? A longer shot?
I don't know.
Just guess already.
All right. I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I'm going with Brandon Voiles.
Oh, you were dead wrong. You are absolutely dead wrong. I have a 50-50 chance at this.
Byron, what do you think?
Before we started here, Ryan told me that only two of us shared picks coming into the show. Obviously, you've changed one. And since obviously me and Ryan share Tyler Street, it's one of my two remaining picks. Ryan won't take Troy number one because Troy can't win points races.
True.
So tic-tac-toe 3 in a row, Jason Randolph number one for Ryan.
So I thought Chris.
That's who I wanted to take was Jason. But that's why I asked that question. Because if he knew your pick and knowing he has to come back, I didn't think he'd take Jason. But that's who I wanted before you picked.
I do have to come back, and yes, I am 8 points down, and so I need a big night tonight, but I can't lose any points tonight either. And I think the obvious pick is Jason Randolph here to win it, as he was the dominant car out there until Cure was able to find the bottom and pass him. Now, if somebody else out there can find the bottom, like Carlin Cure was able to do, then we may be talking about a different winner. But I'm putting Jason Randolph here in the number one spot, but I am also saying that Jason Randolph is not going to extend his points lead tonight, as he will struggle in qualifying. And I think we are going to have a closer battle coming into the final week. It's a 10-point spread right now. I predict that Randy Shreves will close that gap, and I think it will be very close to even coming out of tonight's race. I can't wait. It's going to be a fun one, exciting one, and it is time for us to take a little break, and we'll be back at the dirt track at Charlotte. 7:30. 7:30 is when the gates open up, so be there. We'll be there at around 7:45 for your live coverage with hot laps, qualifying, heat racing, and tonight's Dash for Cash in A Main. We are getting closer and closer to finishing out this season, and it may really come down to the very last race of the season. And tonight, we'll tell that story, what we'll see coming into the final race of the season. We'll see you here in just a little bit.
To all the drivers and fans, thanks for watching the pre-race show right here live on Dirt ITV, the home of Millertime Motorsports. Become a supporter of Dirt ITV. It's easy. Simply go to paypal.com, PayPal.me/Dirt ITV. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Now it's time for Millertime Sunday.